I'm Olivia Robertson, and I call you to come with me to the mysterious land of Era. There you may experience the mystical awakening of the serpent power within your own body to use for good. I want you to relax and anoint your brow with water, that you may balance the fiery energies that lie dormant within you. Good. You begin to rise out of your body, yet do not go into deep trance. Keep some earthly awareness, so you may remember this. Come back in time, to my time, that you may experience eternity through ritual magic. You are rising into the darkness of Samhain, Hallows Eve, in the southeastern corner of Ireland, now known as the Bunclody Triangle. The mysterious lights and happenings are seen here in the sky. And we're a mysterious light and happening now, are we not? For we are floating over the Macha, two rivers that form the Crow's Foot. How beautiful are these trees in the evening light of autumn, of the 31st of October. We see a lime tree avenue now, which has lost its leaves, and an evergreen yew walk 600 years old. And we see two buildings, one gleaming square and silver on a slight hill overlooking the whole Slaney Valley, Mount Leinster, deep blue in this twilight, with two violet hills on either side forming the triple goddess. But we are directed to a hidden grey castellated building, a castle concealed by trees. We see an orange-red light glowing within as of an internal fire. We sink down through this castle and we find a whole crowd of people in an underground temple of Isis. We see that they are surrounding an ancient pre-Druid well around which the castle was built. We see priestesses wearing golden open crowns, priests in gold headdresses, all wearing violet robes, companions, and there are many. There are about 10 of the priesthood, and then about 44 people otherwise, around the well, and the companions wear gold Urea circlets. That's the raised Kundalini cobra. And the men have striped red and gold headdresses. The women wear crimson robes, the men blue. The high priest, the archpriest, addresses the company.
Companions on the path of the awakening of soul through spirit, we are here assembled to contemplate the mystical reality bestowed by the goddess Kundalini through the constellation of Scorpio.
Now, the first, a priestess steps forward, an archpriestess.
Know that this is the stellar house of initiation. Our instructors on the path, the alchemists, taught that only when the sun is in Scorpio may iron be transmuted into gold. For as the sun declines after the autumnal equinox, so does the individual soul face apparent extinction in her dream of separate existence when faced by death. So does a candle fancy itself extinguished when the sun rises. Scorpio rises in the cold hours of the dawn. So be watchful and fall not into inertia, for who can tell when the scorpion stings?
A maiden moves around the crowd, anointing each brow, bestowing on them a blessing of vision and peace. She utters words of blessing.
People, draw near. The time has come to raise the Kundalini, raise the consciousness of the world, bring great energy to the world, to help and heal. I call you all to join with me on this.
She anoints each brow. She says, may peace and vision be with you. Suddenly we are aware a lot of children are waiting expectantly, and we realize there's going to be a procession. Where are we going? The company are drawing warm cloaks around them, and they are beginning to leave the well and pass 9 columns of this great temple of Isis towards the outside portico. Where are they going? They are proceeding out of the temple of Isis. They pause as they pass through a palm garden, for they wish to listen to the birds of evening. They are approaching the west, where the sun in majesty is sinking between golden and scarlet clouds. Now they are beginning to rise on this hill, and we are facing this huge building, 80 foot by 80 foot. The company make a circuit round the temple, now with solemn, slow drumming and music. music stops. The company file into the most extraordinary building. This is the house of the monoliths. At each corner, a mighty granite stone, north, east, south, and west. Within these are 8 stones, are 4 grey slate stones. The granite comes from northern France, Lombardy. Yes, the grey stones come from Cumbria. And then we look towards the centre. There are 8 stones, again in pairs of 2, made of Kilkenny marble. And within that are hundreds of small, glittering, many-coloured stones. As the company file in, we observe that there are 4 dome-shaped buildings. They're not separate, they're joined in a square, and in the centre we are open to the sky, in which a dim star may be seen. The company now make 3 more solemn circuits of this building. Where are they going? We observe that they are approaching the north of this strange building. And we suddenly notice there appears to be a statue there. A statue completely veiled in orange and yellow and red. But now a slight movement makes us realize we are observing a priestess, pythoness, in deep trance. On either side stand 2 priestesses, one holding a silver goblet, another a bowl of smoking incense. Those who are psychic are aware of a feeling of greater powers that are approaching. The archpriest invokes the goddess Kundalini.
Divine Kundalini, the world's mother, hidden fire, mystic life force, Divai, Shakti, arise within us and bring us eternal life. For without thee we are as lifeless shadows astray in this land of delusions, entangled in dead thoughts, stale emotions, sucked of energies by debilitating forces which we cannot control. Aid us, helpless wanderers lost in this dream of existence, fearing that when the nightmare ends we shall be no more.
A priest bard now steps forward, and as he does so, we observe a spiraling of power, flashing with light, coming through the priestess, and some may see a woman's form.
O goddess, more subtle than the fibre of the lotus, curled 3.5 times around thyself, thou who doth uncoil thyself and raiseth thy head, and doth enter the royal road, rise, piercing the mystic centres until thou doth reach the high place. Reveal thyself gently unto thy suppliants. Come not fiercely within thy fire. Shine on us, O Devi, thy light, beautiful Kundalini, resplendent Devi. Come in thy goodwill and at our need, as the earthly sun sinks to rest. May thou arise within us.
We hear the sound of a woman's voice behind the veil.
Seek me throughout all the realms of being with selfishness, and you shall never find me. You acknowledge that from me proceed the vital flames of cosmic life force. But why do you seek my power? Do you love me? Do you desire to care for others as I do? Or rather, do you seek my energy that you may increase your importance without regard for your fellows? A planet savaged by power-hungry humans is left a wasteland, devoid of all living things, pockmarked with craters. And as with a planet, so with my children, both human and beast. For my fire either creates or it destroys. It will never for long lie inactive. It is not the fire goddesses who destroy planets in their anger. It is their children who lay waste through war and greed. My occult power may still more be misused, both by the foolish and the wicked. But know what a severe penalty is paid by the ill-doer for each act that misuses my force, whether in this world or the next. For though permission to use or misuse my gift is granted, in order that free choice may bring wisdom through experience, part of that experience is gained through paying the penalty for wrongdoing. If you truly seek my creative energy with good intention, find me in the heart of love. Feel me through parenthood, through caring for all existences. Then your noble ideals, your great projects, will come easily into manifestation with ever-increasing effectiveness. Take heed to balance force with gentleness. For know that my power comes through the harmony of two energies of the sun and the moon, of fire and of water, of gold and of silver. These are symbols. They who truly know me feel me within themselves.
All give thanks to the goddess Kundalini with folded hands, and a priestess gives her to drink of holy well water. She is left to recover from trance, still veiled, while the company now turn to the centre of this great New Age temple. There is a fire burning brightly on a tripod, and there is a crimson and blue draped altar. There is a red lamp and the other white flaming lamps, burning incense, which is placed by the priestess, by the oracle, and a star map of Scorpio. A priestess, second priestess, comes forward and addresses the companions.
Know that the path of Scorpio provides a sudden shock. The cunning scorpion strikes at the foot, yet its poison courses throughout the body. Like the serpent, it is called the one who lurks. It is most potent through water and through the blood. Know that this very cruel sting, which seems to torture and to slay, is in verity the awakener. Only through the sting may the stigmata of initiation be gained. Yet this awakening may not be bargained for, nor induced. For only when the soul is ready, may the coming forth by day be achieved. Scorpio is also the sign of the eagle and of the winged serpent. May we, with the wings of the goddess Selket, the scorpion goddess, rise above the path and so learn to know its serpentine deviations, its pitfalls, its goal. Thus may we, with the aid of the presiding deities, receive the onrush of the fire goddess, Kundalini, without loss of integrity or peace.
A priest stepped forward.
Ponder on the fate of the giant Orion, stung by the scorpion, and so sinks into apparent death in the red western sky. Was not even the child god of initiation, son to Isis, Hippocatus, not even the child god of initiation, killed by a scorpion? He was revived by Isis and shows himself to the wise as a naked child with his finger to his lips, enjoying silence. Was not the mighty sun god Ra-Tamu bitten by a snake, which Isis sent to him in the autumn? He suffered from the poisonous serpent power circling in every limb until he fell through the flaming twilight into the watery abyss. Only when he had surrendered his secret name with all his magical powers to Isis did she restore him as Ra-Horus in the bright dawn when spring returned to earth. For through the mysteries are preserved through silence, we must offer ourselves and all we have to the goddess, that we may be reborn with the knowledge of our immortality.
The company now begin to put various pieces of wood that are around the fire into it. And as they do this, we hear the invocation of Kundalini in her form of fire.
I invoke the goddess Kundalini, Deve, consort of Shiva, the serpent fire, universal life principle, the world's mother, divine power, mystic fire force. Reveal to us the path to thee, that we may join thee in thy creative manifestation. Thus art thou spoken of in the Sashakra Nirupana. The Devi shines in the fullness of her lustre. Thereafter, in her subtle state, lustrous like lightning, refined like lotus fibre, she ascendeth, the beautiful Kundalini. Also it is written, she is curled 3.5 times around herself at the base of the spine. Then she uncoils herself and raises her head and enters the Raja road of the spine, piercing the mystic lotuses until she reaches the temple of the head. You taste her nectar and you know that she is life. This life manifests through the union of opposites, through her 2 snakes which interlace about the spine. Pingala is active, Ida, she who receives. When they cross each other, they combine, and the power of the goddess breaks forth in glory. Aid us to prepare for this outpouring, for none may live forever save through thee.
Now the company begin to dance round the fire as the archpriest invokes her consort, the god Shiva.
I invoke the god Shiva, wielder of the trident, Rudra, the fiery one of the 5 faces, the 3 eyes and the 4 arms, bring us power controlled by meditation. For when thy consort Durga brought devastation to the earth through her fire, thou didst swallow the poison of her sting, so that thou art known as the blue-throated one. Thy right hand holds the fires of destruction. Thy lower right hand is raised in blessing, and thy lower left hand points to thy upraised left foot, worship of which bringeth salvation. Thy right foot standeth upon the dwarf of ignorance. A serpent is coiled 3.5 times around thy hair, its hood raised above it. Thy second serpent is upon thy shoulder, and the third forms thy sacred thread. The lovely goddess Ganga sitteth within thy matted hair, and poureth forth the holy waters of the Ganges. Thou art the great yogi. Also thou art god of the sacred lingam. Thy lovely consort is Devi, who manifests as Parvati of the lotus, the golden Uma, fiery Durga, and black Kali of the earth. She is also the Shakti Kundalini. Within the fiery cosmic wheel thou doth enact the dance of creation. Consort of Kundalini Devi, aid our search for vitality and wisdom.
Feel it rising within you, the power from the earth. There is a pause, and everyone sinks to the ground. There. Feel this power ascending from the depths of the earth through your being, from your mother, the earth, strengthened by the fiery power of the god. Be aware of this power rising up your spine, your base of spine, up through your solar plexus, blessing your sex center, plexus, womb center, your wings up, the glowing Kundalini, Melusina, Segment. Feel this love in your heart. Feel peace and harmony within. Friends, We are assembled in the starry temple of the monolith, surrounded by mysterious stones. We have invoked the goddess of India, Kundalini, and the god of India, Shiva. Now it is time to turn to the Egyptian pantheon. A priestess lifts up her arms and her sacred wand.
I invoke the goddess Selket. Beautiful goddess Selket, we invoke thee. Thou dost herald the sunrise through thy temples oriented to thee. It is spoken of thee and thy divine mother in the book of the dead. Get thee back, O crocodile that dwelleth in the north, for the goddess Selket is within my body, and I have not yet brought her forth. I am Watch Mati. The things which are created are in the hollow of my hand, and those which have not yet come into being are in my body. I am clothed and wholly provided with thy magical words. O Ra, they which are heaven above me, and in the earth beneath me. My face is open, my heart is upon its seat, and the crown with the serpent is upon me day by day. Consort of the sun god Ra, guardian of the souls of the dead, protectress of matrimony, help us face the ordeal of initiation with serenity, for it is spoken of thee. The scorpion goddess Selket hath cast fetters upon me. The sting is in the scorpion goddess, and mightily hath she, whose course is everlasting, worked it upon me. Awaken us to greater life.
Priest steps forward and invokes the god Ra.
I invoke the god Ra. O thou beautiful being, thou dost renew thyself in thy season in the form of the disk within thy mother Hathor. Therefore, in every place, every heart dwelleth with joy at thy rising forever. Thou comest forth from the water, thou illuminest the two lands with rays of turquoise light. Thou art made strong each day by thy mother Nue. Ra liveth by Maat the beautiful. Isis and Nephthys seeketh thee. They sing unto thee songs of joy at thy rising in the boat. They protect thee with their hands. Thou dost travel through untold spaces, requiring millions and hundreds of thousands of years to pass over. Thou passest through them in peace, and thou steerest thy way across the watery abyss to the place which thou lovest. This thou doest in one little moment of time, and then thou dost sink down and dost make an end of hours. Divine Vartamu, which sinketh below the horizon into the underworld, aid us to know thy secret of thy hidden fire glowing within the watery abyss.
At this moment, the company begin to form an invocatory dance, this time winding their way in spiral forms through all these monoliths. We hear the sound of music. around the centre of altar. The women form a circle within, and outside are the men, and a priest steps forward representing the god Geb of the earth, calling upon the star goddess Nui with his arms stretched out to the sky, in which the first stars of evening are appearing, and the sun is golden in the west.
May Nui stretch her arms above me. In her name of the one who stretches her arms, may she drive away the darkness. May she bring the bright light of the sun to every place where I shall be. Let me be as one of the imperishable stars, as one who never becomes exhausted. May I not die again in the city of tombs.
Now we hear the sound of deep men voices. And as if in response, as has been mystically heard in this installation, we hear the golden sound of women's voices. And all sink to the ground in silence as silvery power comes down from the stars through the top of the head. Feel this. The power of the spirit of the wind, Isis. Selkie, feel this. It's like a waterfall, silver, The company are seated and they lift their hands up as if were to draw the stars of Nui through themselves. For in you are the stars, the starry centres. Every atom is a star. It's tingling, cool, icy, silvery. Now we observe the company drawing their hands from above right to their hearts. Feel this power joining with the power from the earth in your heart center. Silver power joining the gold power from the earth, and both are within you, and many-coloured aura is about you. You're surrounded by a rainbow. You are a solar system. The very essence of Kundalini force is to share with others. The company slowly rise to their feet. They hold their hands over the fire, look up to the sky. Then they turn, having received all this power, outwards in a great circle. And 4 guardians approach the 4 quarters, and other companions face outwards. There are those also of the priesthood, priest and priestess, who approach the place of Scorpio, low in the south, and salute the stars that we may use their energies for good.
Let us invoke the guardians of Scorpio.
I salute the regent of the twofold star Antares, fiery heart of the scorpion and of the azure dragon. This is the lurking one, Diestha Nakshatra, and is the ruddy ear-jewel of Renine, the rosy goddess. The noble temples of Apollo at Delphi, at Aegina, the Heraeum at Argos, and the Erechtheum of Athens were orientated to this rosy star of auspicious fortune. Antares of the scorpion goddess Selket is veiled by a cloud nebula and rises in the red and azure twilight. May the regent of her star bring us good fortune.
The priest invokes the star of Scorpio.
I salute the region of the threefold star Graphias, the claws. This star, with 4-horse chariots, was worshipped in ancient times by all horsemen. It forms the white and violet crown of the forehead of Scorpio and is the friend, the star of success. May the regent of Graphias grant us success in our work for good.
The priestess invoked.
I salute the regent of the twofold star Shula, the sting. The ancients saw these, twain as a little maiden, Pin Ua, the separable, who with her smaller brother flees from home to the sky because of the ill treatment of their parents who pursue them. And now in ocean deep, Orion flying fast from hissing snake, his flaming head dist hasten for to steep.
When she strikes us, may the sting of the scorpion be assuaged in the starry sea.
I salute in the regent of the star, Al-Niyat, protector of the house of Scorpio. While Scorpio, dreading Sagittarius' dart, whose bow preset bent in flight and string has slipped, down slid the ocean flood apart. May our hearts be protected from the passions in the deep sea of meditation.
The whole companions now lift up their hands in the direction of Scorpio, and they face outwards in a circle, blessing any good cause to which they would send energy. The earth, the sea, whatever they would help. The earth.
To the victims of war and famine and peace. To horses.
And to the cats of the world.
To the creatures of the rivers and the seas.
I give blessing to all those members of the Dragon Project operating in the London region. These people are willing to lay down their lives and certainly their time to protect the trees and the green places in this land.
I give my blessing to the trees and the plants of this land, and the trees and the plants of the world. May they flourish and grow.
I send blessings to the lonely.
I send blessings to the homeless.
I send blessings to the abused.
I send blessings to the rain forests and the tribes who are threatened with extinction. Now, as the people hold forth their hands, again they sound musical instruments that this blessing may go forth. The blessing has gone forth. Now the star map of Scorpio is before us. A priestess tells us the story of Isis and the mother and her child, for this refers to human feelings. Companions, hearken to the story of Isis and the mother and her child. Isis was seeking for the body of her slain husband, the god Osiris, and she came to the city of Byblos. She was discovered by the royal handmaidens as she sat by a well. Isis braided their hair, breathing a heavenly perfume upon them from her divine body. Queen Astarte of Byblos smelt this perfume and took Isis to her within the palace to be nurse to her child. Now Isis discovered that the body of Osiris, unknown to the king and queen, was concealed within a tree pillar of the palace. At night, in the form of a swallow, she was wont to flutter around the pillar of the palace, twittering mournfully.
Now Isis loved the baby boy entrusted to her, and she decided to confer upon him the gift of immortality. So every night when all slept, she used to hold the child over the fire on the hearth. But one night Queen Astarte discovered Isis placing her baby on the fire, and she seized him and clasped him to her and bitterly upbraided her nurse, whereupon Isis revealed herself from the divine being and gave her name. And she said unto the queen, Wretched woman, if thou hadst let me, I would have made thy son immortal. As it is, he shall be as other men, and I must leave him. When King Malcandre heard of this, he understood the mystery of the swallow and the pillar, and he gave Isis the tamarisk tree, which contained the coffin of Osiris.
Now the priestess hands around the incense to all, and each person holds their hand over the smoke of incense, thus drawing in the ichor, the spiritual power of Isis. And there's a gentleness now, a peace. And the other priestess picks up the bowl of water and goes round and pours it into cups and give it to all to drink. Now many people here, so this takes time, and people sit in a meditative state as they see people drink of the water of life, the well. For the water is needed to bring balance to the fiery powers of Kundalini.
There is a star within Scorpio called Gizgangusur, the tree of the garden of light. Without the sap of life, the body is but a dried-up mummy.
Priest now speak.
May the water of the starry sea bring thee serenity. In celebration of the sacred marriage of the opposites and the initiation of fire and water, which takes place in the house of Scorpio, let us perform the dance of the azure dragon. For the Chinese sages depicted this dragon as a blue in water, flying in the sky, the breathing fiery flames.
Now there comes a joyful dance. Gravely unfolds the map of Scorpio.
Behold the constellation of Scorpio lurking between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn. See its claws and the fiery Antares its eye, its sting in its tail, and it emerges from the sea of heaven in pursuit of Orion, who flees far across the sky. Hot in pursuit is Sagittarius with his bow, and above him Hercules, whom when he was a child, strangled the two serpents in his cradle. Below him is the giant Orpheus, holding the twisting constellation of serpents, the snake. Orpheus was revered by the Greeks as representing the deity Hela, Aesculapius, whose emblem was a staff entwined with a snake. Some saw Orpheus as Chiron, the centaur, wise in knowledge of the healing herbs. Observe that the right foot of the giant rests upon the serpent's head. That which poisons may also cure.
Priestess speak.
First with a hissing, then with a sting does the goddess Kundalini bring us to life. The child cries out when it is born.
Yet in silence comes wisdom, Let us meditate upon the mystical awakening bestowed on us by Kundalini Devi through the constellation of Scorpio. The company now sits in peace, and I want you to join in this meditation. You are as a child about to be brought to life. But friend, even as you meditate, you begin to feel you are rising into the air above the installation, and you look down and you see a great 8-pointed star has been formed by the powers of the earth and the power of the stars, and this 8-pointed star is sending forth rays of good to the whole earth, past Mount Leinster and the 2 hills, past the sacred Nemeton of the oaks, from the castle, the ancient abbey, and in the distance you hear the voices of the priesthood giving thanks below you, and the distant sound of a procession as the company leave. They're winding out, this time widowshins, 4 times, 3 times within the temple and once out. And as you look down, you see they are forming a spiral around the 8-pointed star. They are going down the hill through the palm garden. They make procession through the long yew walk like a dark tunnel, this time facing the northeast. Follow them. They wind down below you. Feel the peace, one in union with nature. They are now moving across the grounds past the Druid Abbey of Dana, winding around in serpent form. They approach the portico of the Temple of Isis from which they left so long ago. Watch them as they file in. You are rising now above the castle, and the drumming becomes softer. Friend, this is not your time. Belongs to time eternal, but also through time past. Come back at your own time and place. Receive the blessings of the goddess Kundalini. I'm Olivia Robertson of the Fellowship of Isis, Clonigall Castle, Enniscorthy, South Ireland.